Portland, you guys live in a really pretty place. I'm from LA, and you guys have all the stuff that we don't have over there. Happiness and joy. Now, shut up, weirdo. I'm an Arabic person. Did they tell you real Arab's gonna be here? Is it scary? Is it like watching Fox News at an IMAX theater? Stupid Donald Trump. I'm a man, I'm not a monster. I just like hummus more than you, that's all. It's weird, a lot of people don't even know that I'm an Arab. They think I'm just a tan skinhead. I just look like a racist that came back from Hawaii. What do I look like? Like every time skinheads walk by me, they completely ignore me. I'm like that insect that looks like a stick. I'm not a regular Arab. I have a Muslim father and a Jewish mother. Did you hear that? There was silence and a rumble of concern. That's perfect. That was the sound of the wedding. People get really uncomfortable when they find out I have a Muslim dad and a Jewish mom. They're like, Muslim dad, Jewish mom. What does that make you? Super circumcised. That's what it makes me. Eyes up here, buddy. I come from such angry people, even my penis looks like a bullet. Like one of the bigger bullets, like a big one. Like the ones that go to rifles, not like It's weird because Muslims and Jews are such huge personalities, and I don't look like either one. It's because I grew up in a Mexican neighborhood. That's why I look like this. Orale. That's why I look simultaneously dangerous and helpful. I know what I look like. I look like I work in the accounting department of a Mexican gang. I told you, save your receipts, spider! We're gonna get audited, Marco! Such a weird way to grow up, you guys. Because according to Judaism, if your mom's a Jew, you're a Jew. But what a lot of people don't know is that according to Islam, if your dad's a Muslim, you're a Muslim. What the fuck? I am the religion when a hummingbird is the physics. I'm not supposed to exist. So all my life I've grown up hearing crazy things. My dad would always say stuff like, don't trust Jews. They're not all like your mom. And my mom would go, don't trust Muslims. They're all exactly like your dad. My dad hates that joke. I love living in a Mexican neighborhood though, because when you immigrate from one country to another country, especially around elementary school age, when recess happens, it's like a prison. All these miniature gangs start to form in the yard, all by race. And I walk out, I have brown people skin, black people hair, they're like, what do we do? The Mexicans were cool. Mexicans were like, you got pyramids, we got pyramids, come on. We got tortilla bread, you got peanut bread, let's go. We got pinatas, your dad hits you with sticks. My mom hates that joke. So weird, you guys. I don't even look Arab anymore, right? I've made a full American transformation. Confuses Arabs. I had an Arab guy come up to me, he's like, you're so lucky. You look so American. You probably never experienced racism. And I go, no, you're wrong. Because I look so American, I experience racism by accident all the time. Right in front of me, one of my own friends goes, goddamn Arabs, they don't belong in America. Everybody else fits in, not them. And I'm like, reason I didn't fit in is because the programs in America were never designed for me. Because when I got here, they put me in a classroom called English as a Second Language. There were no Arabs there. It was me and 37 Mexicans. Go be American. I got home, my dad's curious. He's like, how was school? And I go, ay, papi. Mi profesora, tienes más grande chichis. A lot more Spanish speakers in Portland than I expected. For those of you that don't speak Spanish, what I said was, oh, Dad, my teacher has huge boobs. She did. I learned English in 2 days. Nobody had attention deficit disorder in big titty class. She had all of our attention. Made me think, if you want to make the education system better in America, why not hire strippers to teach math and science? It would work. Fuck you, China will make our own iPhones. Thanks to Miss Cinnamon. She was the best. I had a guy come up to me the other day, he said this crazy thing, he's like, I can't believe you're an Arab, you're happy. And at first it confused me, but I understand that. It's because there aren't any happy Arabs on TV. There's only bad Arabs doing bad things. Because we're just on the news. We don't have a TV show to counterbalance all that negativity, and TV shows humanize people. Like Will and Grace did amazing things for the gay community. Good Times did incredible things for black people. I used to say the Cosby Show, but that's not true anymore. Go fuck yourself, Bill. But nobody's made a TV show for Arabs yet. Nobody's made Everybody Loves Alvin. Nobody's made a Fresh Prince of Bahrain. When you guys watch How I Met Your Mothers, wouldn't you watch it? Malcolm in the Middle East, you would watch it. Or Sex in the City is forbidden, you wouldn't watch it. I think it's highly underrated how difficult it is to be an immigrant. Like to leave your family behind, your culture behind, everything you know for the pursuit of happiness. Shut up. It's like a siren for a shitty personality. That's how many people hate you. You're a pretty girl with a guy that wants to fuck you, so he's not saying anything. But the rest of us want you to shut the fuck up. Don't come to comedy shows and bring your own jokes. It's like going to a whorehouse and masturbating in the corner. I didn't fly here for you, dickhead. My therapist is going to be really disappointed in me. So like I was saying, to leave your family behind, your country behind, everything you know for the pursuit of happiness, that's the most American thing I can think of. We did it when I was 8 years old. We left Egypt for America. It took us 3 years. 3 years of praying together every night, doing paperwork every day, just wishing to get to the best country in the world. 3 years. And then we got here. Took us 3 days to want to go home. We got to America confident on October 28th. But 3 nights later, on October 31st, we had the scariest night of our lives. We had no idea what Halloween was. Nobody told us that. You couldn't add that to the job description at TSA. You couldn't do that. You couldn't warn the little 8-year-old Egyptian boy that every 10 minutes another monster was going to knock on the door. I was like, why did we move here? We didn't know this happened one Thursday or every Thursday. We didn't know. man rung our doorbell. I was like, Mom, 3 little Muslim women want Skittles. It's okay. Oh my God. You guys like that joke much more than the crowd of Little Rock, Arkansas. They didn't like me at all. They were like, get out of here, hummus face. I'm like, what? Can't even make a face out of hummus, you toothless bastard. Scary place for me, because cowboy hats for me are like turbans for you. I'm like, ah! Yeehaw is just the white Allah Akbar. I look at white dudes in overalls the same way cops look at black dudes in hoodies. I'm like, that guy's gonna do something bad. You're so crazy. Felt bad for my dad though. My dad had a hard time because we lived in Egypt where it was illegal to be gay. You couldn't have gay people in Egypt, against the law. I've never told a girl to not scream before. I've never. I just feel like you're such a shitty person. You don't deserve those boobs. You don't deserve them. Anyways, I'm gonna continue on. What a dick. Okay. What was I even talking about? Do you remember what something? Oh yeah, okay, thank you. Fucking jackass. Unbelievable. Alright, if this was New York, so help me God, you get jumped in the parking lot, I swear to God. She really would. I'm saying by gay lesbians, they would do it for me. I'm not gonna touch her. I'm Middle Eastern, they're already watching me. Anyway, so like I was saying, for my dad, like Egypt was illegal to be gay. We didn't have any indoor gay people. I'm sorry, we didn't have outdoor gay people, we only had indoor gay people. And then after East LA, we moved to West Hollywood. And for those of you that don't know, West Hollywood is like gay Africa. It's where all the original gays were made. It's where Rue met Paul. It's where Bruce changed his gender. If you think West Hollywood is gay now, you should have seen it in the 70s. The stop signs had 6 O's. It was like, stop! And I loved it. I gotta be honest, I loved it because gay people are some of the best friends I've ever had in my life. And I thank God for living there. Shut up. But for my dad, it was scary, right? He didn't have anything against gay people, he just really wanted grandkids. So it turned him into a homophobe. My dad was such a homophobe, he thought I could catch gay. Like the flu. Like if a gay guy sneezed on me, I'd be like, I love cocks now, Papa. That's what he thought. He just didn't know, he was ignorant, man. My dad was such a homophobe, I wasn't allowed to eat a banana from the top of my house. Out of my house. I'd be in the kitchen, minding my own business, trying to fix a cramp. I'm like, oh. My dad would jump out of nowhere. He's like, even beside your homosexuality. I'm like, is that less gay, Dad? Is that less gay? I gotta eat a banana like it's some kind of corn on the cob. I think the peak of his homophobia was when I was in 5th grade. Because that's when I was really into Prince. So imagine this poor homophobic immigrant walking into his son's bedroom and seeing this poster of this gorgeous man. He's like, what is this? He is the gay. I'm like, he's not the gay, that's Prince. And he goes, no, he is the gay. And he ripped down the poster, took all my Prince albums and walked out of my room. Thank you, I was devastated. I love Prince. I think he felt bad. 10 minutes later, he came back in my room and he threw a stack of his records at me. He goes, listen to these guys. Those are real men. See that guy right there? That's a cowboy. And he earns his living by the sweat of his brow. And that other one, that's a construction worker. And that's a policeman. And that's an Indian chief. Those are men. Macho men. Like, nah, Dad, those are village people, and you are gay. You are very, very the gay. My dad hates that joke. It's funny, I get a lot of questions about my religious beliefs because of my parents being so mixed up. I used to answer real quickly, oh, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious, and all this stuff. But I don't want to answer like that anymore. I used to think I was born with a blank computer, I had all my own software, all of my own thoughts. It's not true, none of us were. All of us were born with people telling us how to think. Boys wear blue, girls wear pink. I didn't ask for that shit. It's like that stupid U2 album nobody wanted on their iPhones. So when people ask me what I believe in now, I gotta be honest and say I'm probably more atheist than anything else, but I'm not a jerk about it. I want to believe. I feel like religious people have this resilience and this strength that I just don't have. I just think the rules have been too corrupted for me to still believe. Like even doing comedy, some of my religious friends are throwing the rules at me. One of my friends came up to me, he's like, hey man, you shouldn't talk about God on stage. God created all of us. You need to respect that. And I'm like, I've read the Bible. That's not what it said. Said God created two people. Sex created the rest of us. Two people is really not that impressive. My friend Heather made 3 people. And Heather barely graduated high school. I have nothing against religion at all. I think it can be a beautiful thing. I just think a lot of people are using it wrong. I think religion is a lot like Tide Pods. Like it was invented to make us live less dirty. But then the craziest people started swallowing it whole. And death started happening. I think this is why I stayed single most of my life. I'm too mixed up culturally. I'm too Middle Eastern for some people. I'm too American for other people. I'm this weird thing in the middle. Now my friends have all been married for so long, they keep saying crazy things to me that don't make sense. One of my married friends goes, you're so lucky you're single. You can have sex with whoever you want. And I'm like, no. That's rape. Only rapists can have sex with whoever they want. I'm not a rapist, I'm just a lonely man. Besides, you're talking about dating in your 20s, I'm dating in my 40s, that's not the same. Dating in your 40s isn't cool. Dating in your 40s, it's like shopping at the Goodwill. Don't you believe me? It is. It's all the stuff you guys returned. Listen, there's no reason to feel bad. Good things can happen at the Goodwill. Every once in a while you walk in there and you're like, oh my God, look at this. I can't believe nobody bought this. But upon further inspection, you're like, oh, there it is. It took 3 weeks of dating, but I see why this is on sale now. One of the arms is all fucked up. This is the part of my set where a lot of people stop liking me. Are you ready? Are you ready? That last joke was inspired by a real girl that I dated that had one arm. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Why are you on her side? You don't know her. What, bad people can't have accidents? You don't know. She wasn't a good girlfriend or a good person. A terrible swimmer. Stop swimming in circles! I know it makes me sound like a jerk. I've done the emotional math. I get it. I get it. But she cheated on me. See how that returns the balance now? See? After I stand up here and publicly admit that a one-armed woman cheated. I hate this joke. She did. She cheated on me. When you cheat on a comic, you end up in the set. That is the rules. Thank you. Her name's Michelle Botsman. You can look her up on Facebook. Her lawyer told me to stop saying that. I told her to come to a show. What are you going to sue me for? Pop-Tarts? I got nothing. Do you guys want to hear the real story? The real story is when we met, she had 2 arms. Well, I didn't do it. Middle Eastern men. She had 2 arms and a really bad drinking problem. Such a bad drinking problem that I was like, I have to break up with her. And I was on my way to her house to have a conversation. I got a phone call. She got in a terrible car accident, drunk driving, lost her arm. And I'm like, shit. Can't break up now. Gotta stay together for a little bit. So several months go by, she's in therapy learning how to use a prosthetic arm from a guy with a prosthetic leg. And that's who she cheated on me with. You know what that does to a comedian's self-esteem? When your one-armed girlfriend cheats on you with a one-legged man? She's like, I'm sorry, I couldn't help it, we had so much in common. I'm like, oh, did you? Or do you just both suck at jumping jacks? When you're 69, it looks like 11. Go fuck yourself. She did this. Michelle Botsman. Michelle Botsman, Michelle Botsman, Michelle Botsman. My friends are confused, you guys. Like, we don't understand why you're single. Don't you meet girls doing comedy? I'm like, no. I'm a comic, not a musician. Comedy's kind of a lonely lifestyle. You travel all around the country, going to shows, and shows are great date nights. You're surrounded by couples, surrounded by love, couples. Now I'm in my 40s, I'm creepy. I just stare at people in love now. I can't help myself. I look at people in love the way dogs look at people at dinner. I'm like, you gonna finish all of that? Don't hold on to it, you weirdo. My precious. I'm so lonely. So weird, you guys. This is a difficult thing being a man. You know, we don't talk to each other. We don't help each other. Women do. That's a silver lining of us treating you guys so badly. You guys talk to each other, you help each other. You know what's coming up in life. You guys even have that talk show, The View, right? If guys had a talk show, it would be called Shut Up, Bro. Stop saying sad things. We're told all our lives, boys don't cry. Women grow up with these impossible physical standards, men grow up with impossible emotional ones. So every time we get older, we have these blind spots. Like, I used to go to my friend who's my doctor, get a physical, we go for beers after. Then I hit my 40s and it all changed. Totally blindsided. I go in there, he goes, hey man, time for a prostate exam. I'm like, no, that's cool, next time, do it next time. And he goes, no, it's time to do this. So at this point I should explain that when I get nervous, the wire between my brain and my mouth totally disconnects. So he convinces me to turn over. He puts his finger in my butt. And he goes, oh wow, you're tight. Now, when you're being examined by a doctor, and he uses the phrase, oh, wow, that's scary. So what my brain wanted to say is, oh my God, is that okay? But what came out of my mouth was, do you like that? We're no longer friends. I I now have a Filipino doctor. I don't understand a word he says. But he's got really little baby fingers. How old are you, buddy? 27. Oh, baby boy, baby boy. I bet your underwear smells like a new cell, right? Like, so I'm not going to just complain about men and not be part of the solution. So I'm going to give you some advice about an ailment you might experience when you reach my age. But before I talk about the ailment, I'd like to talk about what it's called, because I think that's a big part of the problem. I don't like the phrase erectile dysfunction. I don't like it because that's too dramatic for what actually goes on. Because there are times when blood doesn't get all the way to my foot. But I don't say my feet are dysfunctioning. I just bang it on the ground, I rub it out, things are fine. So don't ever say you're experiencing erectile dysfunction. Just say, I have a sleepy penis sometimes. Less psychologically disturbing, you know what I mean? Are you comforting him right now? Is that what's happening? Are you petting him? He's 27, he's made of iron. He's got a boner right now. He's fine. You just rub his arm after I told the penis joke. He is so erect right now. So you okay, buddy? You alright? You alright? You okay? He's going like this to you. Consent, lady. I'm just kidding. See, it's not just jokes at Harvey's Comedy Club. It's not just jokes. Powerful information, too. It's true, women are really good friends to each other, much better than men are. Right? True, thank you. There's two of them now. Jesus Christ. And I saw a great example of how women are better friends with each other than men at this engagement party in New York. Right? I like engagement parties better than weddings because they're more chilled out. It's just relaxed. These two should have been having the night of their lives. Instead, they got in a stupid fight, ended up in two different rooms, both of them crying. And I got to see the difference between what happens when a woman walks into a room and finds her best friend crying, and when a guy walks into a room and finds his best friend crying. You guys want to see the difference? Okay, so you'll be my lady friend, you're crying. Here comes your best friend. I saw the whole thing, word for word. This is exactly what she said. Right? Oh my God, Michelle, are you okay? Do you want to talk? No, just hug. You know what? Fuck him. Fuck him. She didn't even know what he did. On your side, right away, no questions. 5 minutes later, I saw the guy crying in the room, and I saw his best friend walk in. You're my guy friend, you're crying. Here comes your best friend. I saw the whole thing word for word. This is exactly what he said. Ready? What the fuck? What's wrong with your eyes? That's a true story. It was me. We don't help each other for shit. It's funny though, like I like to talk about like the one gift of having this Muslim Jewish thing is that I could never pick a tribe. And it was a gift to not fit into anything. Because if I picked this religion, somebody I loved over there was supposed to go to hell. If I picked this religion, somebody over there was going to go to hell. So I never was tricked into tribalism. Like the one thing that religion and science agrees on is we all came from the same two shitty parents. It's true. We're all brothers and sisters, but nobody wants to hear that because it would make having sex with each other disgusting. You know how much better the world would be if we were constantly reminded that we're all brothers and sisters? Right? And I was thinking about this, about how people that are all technically brothers and sisters, how we could treat each other so badly while I was smoking weed and watching Animal Planet. Great way to learn about people, get high, look at animals. And there was a mama tiger playing with a baby tiger. Looked like they were playing a game. But the narrator explained that the mom was actually teaching the baby how to fight. I was like, wow, do we have that? Do we have something that is, like the baby didn't even know it was being taught how to fight. Like it thought it was just playing a game. And I was like, shit, do we have that? Do we have something that we think is just a game, but it can be switched on to make us fight? I think we do have that. It's sports. Sports teach us how to love and hate things that are fake, and love and hate people we don't even know. Like, I like San Francisco. I think it's a nice town. But when a basketball team in LA plays a team in San Francisco, for no reason, I'm like, fuck San Francisco! I'm from Southern California. And then San Francisco wins and plays Texas. I'm like, fuck Texas! I'm from California. And then Texas wins and goes to the Olympics and plays Bosnia. I'm like, fuck Bosnia! I'm from America. Right? Every time sports changes its enemy, I change my enemy, and it's not fake. The Los Angeles Lakers. Where's the lake? The Washington Wizards. There's no wizards in Washington. Those are vampires. And you gotta be a real moron to think there's any jazz in Utah. There's no jazz in Utah. There's no jazz over there. I had a crazy thing happen recently. I got invited to perform at a bachelorette party. Yeah, it sounds good until the last minute they threw a curveball at me. It was inside a sex shop. Right now, here's the part of the story that no one ever believes. I've never been inside a sex shop before. I know it sounds weird, but like I said, I've never had a long-term relationship. You can't show up on a first date and be like, they call this the epileptic butterfly. Can't do that. You go to jail for that. But if you're a single guy and you want to lose all confidence in your ability to make women happy, visit one of these stores. Men are so simple and women are so complex. Like if the woman who wrote 50 Shades of Grey would have written that book for men, it would have been called Grey. One speed is all we have. Our dicks are like beach cruisers. One speed. And this sex shop is a great illustration of this. You walk in the sex shop, you go to the straight men's section, 2 shelves. That's all we have. That's all we need. And the women's section is the rest of the store. You go to the men's section, every single product looks exactly like a vagina. Exactly like what you guys have that should make you feel attractive. You go to the women's section, that's not what I have. How do I make you happy? How do I compete with a 2-penis penis? How do I do that? It's got 2, I only got 1. I saw a vibrator with ribs. Why? Does it have lungs? I don't understand. There was a toy shaped like a 7. My penis didn't come with a knuckle. How do I make you happy? And women make these sweeping statements that all men are liars. Oh, does that mean all women tell the truth? Really? All the time? Are you sure? Are you positive? Oh, I'm gonna come. Oh, are you? Are you gonna come? Are you gonna come ever? You're a liar. You're a fucking liar. Every straight guy here's experiences. You're having sex with your lady. You think you're doing a pretty good job. Yes, I have sex like a backup singer. You finish, you're proud of yourself, sleep is coming over you like a fog. And then the girl leans over and goes, I almost came. Oh, did you? Did you almost come? Almost means 5 more minutes, that's what almost means. Doesn't mean I'm gonna spend the next 42 minutes tickling you until my arm is so cramped and disfigured that I look like I was in a mining accident. Oh, now you finally come and you're snoring like a bear. But I'm wide awake from the adrenaline. I choke you in your sleep, but I can't because my thumbs are cramped. I think because you guys have been such a great audience, I'm gonna leave you with my most embarrassing story. Isn't it weird that it wasn't any of those other stories? It's weird. Do you guys want to hear it? Yeah! Okay. So I told you guys I'm an immigrant, but I didn't explain what kind. I'm not one of those immigrants who are like, oh, my home country in the springtime, it's so beautiful. Shut up, your home country sucks. And that's why you're here. America's awesome. I couldn't be more American. I'm apple pie with a side of hummus. I love America. But because I lived in a developing nation, I don't like when America doesn't act American. That upsets me. Because I've lived in the third world. I know what it feels like with the news, the media, and politicians. Instead of giving us information, letting us make our own choices, they scare us with fear tactics. That's not America. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Thank you. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And I remember the first time I experienced America acting like the Middle East was in the early 90s with HIV and AIDS. Remember, that wasn't even the news. It was just fear tactics. You turn on the news, they were like, AIDS, look out, gay zombies. Look out for gay semen. And I'm like, where's the gay semen? And at the time, for me, it was especially scary because I was only 15 years old. I was still figuring out what sex was. I remember going into a bathroom with a Playboy magazine hidden under a towel. I locked the door. I started to touch myself for the first time. Not in a pornographic way. Like in a National Geographic, I'm learning shit. So I'm in there, I'm touching myself, right? Keep eye contact, buddy. Touch me. Look at me, B.I.M. Look at me. Look at me. Look at my eyes. Look at my face. Look at me. Are those real dimples? Okay, good. So I'm touching myself. He's 27, it's amazing. And I don't know what I'm doing because men don't talk. I'm like, and then the stuff comes at me that's never come at me before. And I'm like, this is the stuff on the news. So I grab a bunch of toilet paper, I start to wipe it off, and right then my dad bangs on the door. He's like, what are you doing in there so long? Are you eating bananas from the top? And I'm like, no, I'll be right out. But out of nerves and habit, I wiped my butt with the same piece of toilet paper. Yeah, I was there. And in my terrified, misinformed 15-year-old brain, I was like, oh my God, you just gave yourself AIDS! Now that should be the worst part of the story, right? The part where I thought I gave myself AIDS. But it's not. Because somebody invented a radio show called Loveline. For those of you that don't know, Loveline is a nationally syndicated radio program with a DJ and a doctor, and kids can call up and ask the doctor questions they're too afraid to ask their parents. Yeah. So it's the early 90s, my parents are asleep in bed. I'm in the kitchen on hold for an hour and a half, thinking I'm dying of AIDS. The screener finally comes on the phone and goes, hey buddy, I'm so sorry for the situation. I hate to do this to you, but we're running out of time. I don't think we're going to be able to put you on the show, but I'm here to help, so why don't you tell me what your problem is? And I go, my name is Tamer, I'm 15 years old. I just wiped my butt with my own semen. I'm wondering if I gave myself AIDS. Also, I've been on the phone for a really long time, and I'm wondering how much longer I have to wait. And the guy goes, oh, you are next. We are very excited to have you on the program. Here's the crazy part of the story. A few weeks ago, I was in Las Vegas at this big radio TV conference, and Dr. Drew was there. The doctor from the radio show. And one of my comedian friends goes up to me and goes, hey, you did the K-Rock Christmas. You should tell him about Loveline. He'll remember you. And I'm like, don't be an idiot. Dr. Drew's been doing this for 30 years. He speaks to like 30, 40, 50 people every night. There's no way he's going to remember me. So he corners Dr. Drew, and I'm standing there all embarrassed. He goes, hey, Dr. Drew, this is my friend Tamer. He's a comedian. He called you on Loveline. I go, oh, he's not going to remember. And Dr. Drew goes, thank you. Listen, I don't remember everybody. He goes, he wiped his butt with his own semen. And Dr. Drew goes, AIDS!
We're coming out to his Black Comedy Festival in February, and now if you get those comment cards, feel free to finish filling those out and bring them forward. We can make this a group effort if you want. We can coordinate and pass those forward to the table in front of you, and those people pass it forward, and so on until we get to the bucket.